Welcome back, everybody, to the Tyler Kelly Show. Now, as you can tell, it is 2 a.m. while I'm recording this. We'll be up right after I get done with this and then, eventually uploads. Guys, I wish I never said I was going to keep up with free agency. No, I'm just kidding. Because Lord, let's see, started at 6, so that's 2, so 6, so that's 8 hours in free agency, and I have this page and almost a full back page of all the stuff that has went on with the latest thing to the first thing, and of course the biggest first thing that will be talked about will be in the title. Kyrie and Kevin Durant officially signed with the Brooklyn Nets. Both 4 years. Kyrie 141 million and KD 164. Now that's what was to start out. Now they got Delonte Jordan to sign with them, 4 year, 40 million, so 10 million a year, which is actually pretty good. Now it was worded that Kyrie and KD took less money to have Delonte Jordan be able to sign. My quick thoughts on this. Now, Kawhi Leonard has not said where he's going yet. To me, if he stays in Toronto, which personally for me I would, um, I would still have Toronto as the favorites in the East. Now, if Kawhi goes to LA, either the say he goes to Clippers, that's a really good team because those Clippers, they were really underdogs against the Warriors when the Warriors were healthy with KD and all that, and they still won 2 games. Just imagine if Kawhi was on that squad. They would have beaten the Warriors, I would say. So if they get him and with the re-signing, oh man, this hurts to say because I wanted him in Dallas. Patrick Beverly, 3 year, 40 million. I'm glad he got paid because he's that person that can shoot the three. You know he ain't gonna shoot it a lot, but he can shoot the three, and his defense is there constantly. He might not be the biggest, but he gonna make sure he gonna try to play the best defense possible he can for himself and for his team. He's just a dog. Um, that defense will be insane with Patrick Beverly and the rest of the team with Kawhi. Now, if he goes to the Lakers, him, AD, LeBron, uh, Kuzma. Honestly, I don't know who else they'd sign if they did sign Kawhi. I don't know. I have no idea. But that would be insane. And they should win the West no matter what. I don't care what bench they got. They could have they could have middle schoolers or high schools out there for our care. To be honest, those three, Kawhi, AD, and LeBron, should win you a championship next year too. Uh, the Bucks, Chris Middleton signed a 5 year, $178 million contract to return. Also, it's here somewhere. Brooke Lopez had a 4 year, I should say, and I think 51 million to come back with the Bucks. So that's very good for the Bucks. Now they did lose Brogdon. Uh, Brogdon, I believe, went to the Pacers, 4 year, 85 million. Um, for me, if I was the Buck, me personally, I know Middleton is that guy for him. I would have liked Brogdon better for me. So I think the Pacers got an absolute great pick right there. JJ Redick. Now, I was at work and when this started, so I got off, got home about 7:45, then got to watch and then see where people went. Um, when I saw he went to the Pelicans for 2 year and basically 13 million a year, I was like, oh shit, that's like a great deal for the Pelicans, knowing JJ Redick is at least 15 a night, can be 15 a night. Um, so that's insane for the Pelicans, and we're going to talk about the Pelicans even more. Their team is looking really good. Uh, Something that came out 2 days ago, I believe, or 3 days ago. Kemba Walker, 4 year, 141 to Boston. I don't even want to talk about Kemba. I don't want to talk about some of these. Some of these free agents because Dallas could have had them. I didn't think Kemba was a realistic option. When I saw Boston was open, I was like, yeah, Boston or Dallas. Boston, in the East, one, two. Look at the roster Boston has, and three, Brad Stevens. It just everything fits perfectly for Kemba there. Joe Green and Danielle House returns to Houston. I don't know what Gerald Green's deal is, but I know it's just for 1 year. House, it's for 3 year, 11.1 million. Um, Not big news right there. Now this one, now I like Harrison Barnes. You know, played at Dallas. Uh, but this man is he the king of these contracts because he got the Kings to give him 85 million over 4 years. So what is that? That's over 20 million a year once again. That's insane. That's insane to me. For knowing, Harrison Barnes, he's a scorer. You ain't going to get much else out of Harrison Barnes except defense. Um, Derrick Rose. Now, this is surprising to me. I thought Derrick Rose could get paid more, to be honest. To me, he goes to the Pistons for 2 years, 15 million. That's 7.5 million a year. You see these people with contracts that will be coming up, and you're like, dang, Derrick Rose should have gotten paid at least 10 million a year or more. Uh, so but he's with the Pistons, and something the Pistons probably need is a guy like that. So who knows? If Pistons could do more. There's more days in free agency. It's just there happened to be a lot happen in this first 8 hours. Uh, Valanciunas, he declined his option so he could do a bigger deal with Memphis, 3 year, 45 million. Valanciunas is a pretty good center. I mean, not like a superstar center, but if you need a center that's going to get you 15 and 9, something like that, numbers wise, he's a good center for him, and that's really it. I ain't got nothing else to say about that. It's just he's a good player, but Memphis, yeah, we'll see. Terrence Ross got paid 4 year, 54 million. So what is that? 15, 30. That's like 13. That's over 13 million a year. So that's pretty good for a Terrence Ross, knowing that starting or coming off the bench, he'll be really good for Orlando coming back to the Magic. Talking about the Magic, they also signed Afarik Aminu. I don't think I said that correctly, but you guys know who I'm talking about. Played with Portland last year, 3 year, 29 million. Uh, I don't know how much he made with Portland, but that's basically it's. I think that's the same, almost the same deal he got with Portland. Maybe a little less. So Orlando doing some moves as they also re-signed their All-Star center, Vucevic, for 4 year and 100 million. 25 million average for those 4 years. Congrats to him for getting paid. Someone we really don't give a damn about, but I said I was going to talk about everything with free agency. Garrett Temple, 2 year, 10 million to Brooklyn. I guess he's just going to be one of those shooters that comes off the bench for him. Bojan Bogdanovic, that was with the Pacers. Pacers was like, we'll take Brogdon. We'll make sure Brogdon and Jeremy Lamb they picked up, which Jeremy Lamb can score the ball too. So that's another great pickup for the Pacers. Basically to replace Bogdanovic. Jeremy Lamb, I don't know what deal he got. I think it was like a 2 year, 30 million or something like that. But Bogdanovic gets 4 years, 73 million to go to the Jazz. The Jazz quickly, like the Jazz did other moves, but the way they did the moves, it positioned them better for the future, and that Utah team is going to be fun to watch this year, really. Thomas Bryant, a young center that I enjoy watching, and I enjoy definitely playing on 2K because he's really very, very underrated. 3 year, 25 million back with the Wizards. That's a great thing for the Wizards because he honestly he just brings so much energy and so much that you expect of a young player. Rodney Hood, I'm surprised he only got 8 million a year. 2 years, 16 million back with Portland. He must, and I mean must, really like Portland because that's low for him. Tobias Harris, this man got motherfucking paid. 5 year, 180 million with Philly. So when I saw Tobias Harris get this deal, I knew Jimmy Butler was gone. And we're going to be talking about Jimmy Butler closer to the end. 180 million over 5 years. I have, let's see. That's like 35. It's close to 35 like a year. I don't. Just seeing Tobias Harris transfer, I forget what school he transferred, but he transferred to Tennessee in college. And watching him there and watching him get in the NBA and him starting to, his numbers started to increase. I'm happy for him, but I think Philly paid a lot for Tobias Harris. Norrell back with OKC, but then it was reported that they're trying to construct the contract even more, so I don't even know about that. Okay, so the New York Knicks. I'm sorry for anybody that's a New York Knicks fan right now, and that has been for a while because they've sucked. 2, y'all were supposed to get Kyrie, KD, Zion from the draft, and your first signing. Even though Julius Randle, I love Julius Randle, I love his play, but you go from all that to Julius Randle, which it kind of bums out for the Knicks fans because it is what it is. But the Knicks still suck. But I'm happy Julius Randle got paid, and he was averaging what, not 18, 19 off the bench with 8, 9 rebounds. I think I could see him averaging a double double easily starting for the Knicks. Thaddeus Young goes to the Bulls. Thaddeus Young is a good little pickup for the Bulls. Somewhat of a uh, veterans, a veteran, I should say, and it'll be good for that young Bulls team. Damian Lillard extension, 4 year, $196 million. He got paid. Congrats to him. Terry Rozier, he was in that trade with Kemba Walker. They did a sign and trade. He got 3 year, $58 million to Charlotte. Rudy Gay, 2 year, $32 million to be back with the Spurs. Dwayne Dedman going to the Kings, 3 year, $41 million. Dedman is like that stretch five. So, yeah. You need stretch fives to be in this league and to have on your team, especially. Trevor Ariza, 2 year, $25 million to the Kings. The Kings, they're making a little bit more moves. They got a good amount of young players also, so we'll see how that works out. I could see the Kings doing something potentially. Ricky Rubio. Ricky Rubio, just got paid. Just like most of these people. 3 year, $51 million to the Suns. And that's really it because the Suns are probably not going to do anything. Mike Scott, back to Philly. 2 year, $9.8 million. DeMar Carroll to the Spurs, 2 year, $13 million. He is the type of player that you'd see on the Spurs. You know what I'm talking about. George Hill, back with the Bucks, 3 year, $29 million. Taj Gibson going to the Knicks, 2 year, $20 million. Al Horford, 4 year, $109 million to Philly. Philly feels stacked and everything, to be honest, with the addition of Josh Richardson, which I'm going to talk about at the end of this because that is tricky as fuck, to be honest. Let's see. Now, it's been reported, but they said that he hasn't signed yet. But Clay is supposed to have 5 year, $190 million with the Warriors, back with the Warriors. Derek Favors, it was reported that he was going to the Pelicans, which I have no idea what is the end of that, but that's that. D'Lo, Karl Anthony Towns on his Instagram had a story and it was just loading, talking about D'Lo coming to Minnesota. And before you know it, we get reports of them doing a sign and trade for the KD signing. So Russell, Napier, and Graham is going in a sign and trade for, KD. And D'Lo is getting 4 year, $117 million from the Warriors. Okay, so we go from KD's gone, Clay is hurt, so he's going to be out until the playoffs. And we're like, if they make it. But now they got Russell, Steph, and Draymond. That's enough to make the playoffs. To me, I think the Warriors, and then if they make the playoffs, Clay will be back, and it's basically a big three again, just not as good as a big three, I would say. Definitely not. Um, so that forces them to trade Andre Iguodala to Memphis, and they also traded 3 picks away to Memphis, just cleaning out some cap space, so so they could sign Russell. Iguodala, I'm hearing that he might not be staying in Memphis. Memphis just wanted those picks, and they could just release him or whatever, and bam. I'm hearing that he could be going to the Los Angeles Lakers because he's supposed to have known Rob Pelinka. Mike Malusa, whatever, Lascola, I should say, to OKC. I bet Lakers fans are having a blast because they don't have to see him on the court in a Lakers uniform. Ed Davis, 2-year, $10 million to Utah. Very good. Mario Hezonja, 1-year medium deal with Portland. Bobby Portis, 2-year, 31 to the Knicks. Knicks be getting these. I think they. And talking about the Knicks, they were worried because KD tore his Achilles, so that's why they didn't pay him the max, or wasn't going to offer the max. If that doesn't describe the Knicks as an organization, I don't know. But they've spent over what they would pay KD over with 3 power forwards and a wing shooter. Wing shooter and Reggie Bullock, 2-year, $21 million. Jamal Murray, 5-year, $170 million extension with the Nuggets. And now this is the last thing we're going to talk about. And it is Jimmy Butler to the Miami Heat in a sign and trade, which Josh Richardson is supposed to go to Philly. The third team that was going to be in this was going to be my Mavericks to get Goran Dragic from that trade. Now, his contract, I think it's like 20 million, 19, 20, 21 million for this year. And the Mavs didn't want that contract. And then it was reported that the Mavs was going to get Kelly Olynyk and Derrick Jones Jr. And then next thing you know, the Heat doesn't want to give up Derrick Jones Jr. and everything falls apart and Dallas calls off the trade. And Philly, and with this trade having to happen, they have to have a third team. And I'm sorry, I'm a Dallas Mavericks fan. We lost out on Kemba, which it wasn't really. I wasn't surprised when Boston, really pursued it. 2, Patrick Beverley went back to the Clippers. We need a PG that is known for start. I'm sorry, but I love Jalen Brunson, JJ Barrera. Been there for a while. But JJ is a bench player. Jalen is not a starter yet. Let me add that, yet. Goran is a starter. You have him bring up the ball. You can have JJ, Jalen coming off the bench. It would just fit the entire thing for Dallas. And Dallas, Mark Cuban, just do the trade. Get Goran. And second of all, who cares about the contract? You know how many people we've missed out, and we probably ain't going to get a top, you know, free agent. Especially this year, we definitely will not. I mean, we signed Porzingis to a big deal. We secured the bag on that. Hopefully, he stays healthy. I'm excited for Luka and Porzingis. Put Goran in there. Goran, you know, he can make things happen. You know, playmaking everything. I hope Dallas just gets back in the trade, gets Goran, because for them to get Jimmy Butler off this sign and trade, they would have to give up Goran to another team because of his contract. So I hope Dallas gets back in there and does it. Just does the trade, and then we can. I mean, I'm sure there's a shooter, defensive player out there that we can just snag or something. There's a lot of people out there, but I don't know who else is out there that, you know, just a low contract. But that's all the free agent news here, and I've almost went 30 minutes with this. I hope you guys enjoy this. Man, Utah is going to be a fun team. Not knowing what the Clippers, if they're going to get Kawhi, they could be a fun team. Lakers are going to be exciting no matter if they get Kawhi or not, because you got the AD LeBron combo with Kuzma. I don't know. But what is confusing is I don't know how many people they have on that roster, but they're going to have to fill it out with free agency. Pelicans seems like a team that's going to be fun to watch. Philly's in there. Like, this next NBA season, I believe, is going to be one of the funnest to watch for a while. Like, I enjoyed last season, but I think this upcoming season, I should say, is going to beat it all. Now, if you did enjoy this, smash that like button. Comment down below what your favorite and maybe shocking move is. And what else do you think is going to happen with free agency? I mean, where do you think Kawhi Leonard is going to go? Basically, Kawhi Leonard. He's confusing. But all right, I'll see you guys. It's time for me to head to bed. See you guys.